Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Figma Dragon Quest: The Adventures of DAI, or Adventure, I don't remember, DAI figure. And this isn't a new figure, but it's on sale right now, so I figured I'd buy it, and I figured I'd review it because there's a new Dragon Quest remakes coming out, I think next year, and I needed a Dragon Quest figure for my Smash collection. It's not the right one, I know this one's not actually in it, but they don't have another one that goes with the game, so I got this one. Anyway, I'm reviewing it. If you like it, good. If you don't like me reviewing this, then why are you watching it? Okay, let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It is more of a traditional Figma package. He's number 500. And there's the photo there, figure here. I like that the figure's not behind the photo. That's a good thing. Some nice posing on the side, some posing options on the back. Again, there and there. I think Figma does have one of the better packaging schemes. Not the current stuff like the new Dread Samus that didn't have good packaging, but this one's pretty good. Okay, so like I said, this guy is on sale. He's like half off right now. Hopefully it still is by the time you guys click the link, but I'll have it linked down below for you to get it if you want to get it. Alright, this guy stands about 5 inches to where his head would be, not counting his hair floofs. That's going to make him about 12, let's say 12.5 centimeters. Here he is up against a Marvel Legends figure, just for size comparison for those of you that want that. There you go, that's a Darwin. His head's somewhere, I don't know where. Alright, okay, let's get into it. Question of the day. How do you feel about Figma? I understand there's a heavy contingent of people. Heavy contingent? A large contingent of people who are just die-hard. They bleed Figma fans, and then there's other people who hate Figma, and then there's all the normal people who like good figures from any company if they're good, and don't like bad ones. That's where I fall. I love good Figma figures, and I hate bad ones, and I don't care who's making them. Okay, so this guy, aesthetically pretty darn appealing right off the bat. Doesn't have like a lot of shading or anything, but there is a decent amount of paintwork you can see throughout his boots, his bracers, if you want to call them that, his chest. A lot of paintwork, not the most intricate or anything like that, but it is a good looking figure. Overall, he's going to look nice on the shelf. Let's make it a little bit darker so it looks a little bit better. The detail work on the sword is nice, the sheath, I guess I should say. Yeah, he's a very appealing figure right off the bat. Nice matte finish, really goes a long way. And then the metallics have kind of like a flat metallic, except for like the red thing's a little bit more shiny. So yeah, he's a really good looking figure. Good proportioning, good overall sculpt work, good paint work. He's a little yellow, I would say. Not a ton, though. It probably isn't even showing up on camera, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But yeah, he's a good-looking release. So I'm going to give him a, at this price, at half price, 9 out of 10. At full price, 8 out of 10. I would buy him on sale, personally. But hopefully the sale lasts long enough. Okay, so yeah, he's very good-looking. Now, as far as accessories go, ooh boy. We'll start with the basic stuff. He has 3 faceplates, all that you would need. Nothing incredible, but it's all well done. For hands, not a lot. You get a couple fist hands, some open hands, some gripping hands. That's it. It's very basic. You do get a sword so you can make it look like he has unsheathed it, so you get a different part for the sheath also because it like clips around the sword. So you get that. That's all very nicely done. You get the basic Figma display stand. Mine's already yellowed even though it just came out of the box. And you get the little gold guy. I can't think of his name right now. He's well done, and he has like a little clip thing to hold him onto the display stand. That's all good. And then the most important part is this effect piece is just freaking nuts. This is one of the best looking effect pieces I have reviewed. It is a nice one. It's very well done. You have the rocks, and then you have the blue and white swooshy thing with the rocks floating up, and it's actually just like 3 planes of blue, except for up here it gets a little thick, but it's really nice looking. That is going to look really good on a shelf. And why don't we have that for more Dragon Ball figures? Why don't we have that for more Street Fighter figures? Why don't we have that for Terry Bogard? Actually, we do, kind of. He's got some good accessories as far as his figures go, but this kind of stuff should be just commonplace at this point. Like, we're in an age of action figures where accessories can be made. Good ones can be made. And this one is excellent. You could buy this figure just to use this accessory. It is really well done. I'm thrilled. I didn't realize it was going to look this good. And it is very nicely done. Bandai, take note. Give us some stuff like this with the Dragon Ball figures. What the heck? Okay, so accessories, 9 out of 10 if you get it at half price, 8 out of 10 if you don't. All right, let's look at the articulation because unfortunately Figma isn't the best at articulation a lot of the time. Let me see, how are we taking his heads off? That's right. I haven't handled this guy in like a week since I bought him. Okay, so unfortunately we still have a ball hinge in there, which blows, especially with the pokey hair. Like, it's going to be a pain in the ass to move it, but you do get the ball hinge, and then the neck is on a ball peg, so it's not going to be the end of the world trying to pose this guy's head, but it just doesn't need to be as difficult as it is. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. These guys are on little ball hinges, so they roll back like that, and they lift up like that. That works really nicely. I'll take it. The shoulder has a butterfly joint cooked into the chest. It's hardly even noticeable. It doesn't do a ton, but it is there, so that'll help with posing, and since it doesn't hurt the looks at all, it's fine. This part of the shoulder has just a little ball peg going into the butterfly with the ball hinge. Still don't like that type of shoulder that much, but it will get the job done. He'll be able to pose just fine. Once you put this thing down, you won't notice the ugliness, though it is uglier than it needs to be. There's a bicep swivel cooked into the shoulder, and then you get a swivel down here at the elbow, which is just a little bit better than 90 degrees. The gauntlets on this guy do not rotate. You get a little ball hinge for the wrists, which is plenty. And then for the torso, you have a ball peg that lets it, unless it's just a hinge. It's probably one of their hinged ball pegs. Whatever, you get a little bit of forward back right there, but then you also have like a quasi ab crunch, which is weird. I mean, it's upside down ab crunch too. Doesn't have a ton of range, so it's all weird. The torso's not great, but it's not bad. You get rotation, but that's about it. He's not doing Spider-Man poses, but he should be sufficient for what he would need. Alright, for the hips, unfortunately Figma decided to do drop downs, which is not a common thing for them, and I don't like it. But they're not the worst thing in the world, because they do tuck in nicely when they're in the neutral position. Should we do this? I don't know. And then when you use the drop down, you get extra range for sure, but the cuts don't really work at that point because they work for when the hip's up. Either way, you get decent range from the hip, but it's unnecessarily complex. And luckily, because there's a ball peg in here for the hip socket, even when it's down, you can move the hip forward and back some. Same thing up here, like you can go way wide, but you don't need to do that. So it's like, it looks okay, it's just way overly complex. You don't need to have all of that going on. Going out to the side, full on splits. No nuggets. That's really good. That should be a saying. Full splits, no nuggets. I'm going to make that a saying. No one's ever going to use that saying but me. Alright, thigh swivel is very, very limited, surprisingly, until you bring it down, which is unfortunate. I guess that's understandable, though. Single jointed knee, functional enough, and it looks decent because of the basicness of the joint, so it's okay. And then for the ankle, the boots, I don't think they're supposed to rotate. Mine was not centered though, so I manhandled it and forced it, but they really don't feel like they're supposed to rotate at the top. But you can use the ball hinge at the bottom to bring the foot back that far, and forward almost none. Ankle rocker is decent though, and of course you can rotate it this way down here if you want. And then the toe hinge is pretty well done. It's not the best thing ever, but it's okay. This is a tiny shelf, but not much. And it's well placed and fairly stiff. That's what she said. So it is okay. This pops off, by the way, but you just want to pop it back on. So yeah, it's not like the most fancy engineering ever. Is it probably over-engineered in a few places? Yes. Does it have the best range ever? No. Will it be good enough? Again, I think yes. I think it's going to be fine. So I'll give his articulation a 7. It could be a lot better, but it is okay. And now it's time for the final verdict. He is fine. If you can get him at half price and you have a desire to get this guy, like don't just buy him to buy him, but if you have a desire for this guy and he's still on sale, get him. For 50 bucks, heck yeah, why not? For full price, don't think so. For full price, I would say he's a 6. 100 bucks is a lot, even with the cool accessory. I think it's 100 bucks, 150, I'm pretty sure. I mean 100 and then half price is 50. If you can get it for 50, I think it's a steal, and I would say 8.5 for 50 bucks. There's a lot going on here. So I'll just go with the 8.5 for half price. Otherwise, don't really buy it, though you could justify it if you wanted to. Okay, there it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.